Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting game of League of Legends here in the FOF Heroic League. I am joined once again by Chris Edgeworth, the man, the myth, the legend, and we've got an exciting match for you as we got Team Washed versus PTP, Pentakill Teemo, please.
And as we see another lightning round of pick and ban, we already see the Vanal Vayne is banned out, and a couple of ADCs are going to get picked out across the way, but Sivir is going to be picked up for the time of Team Washed, and that's going to be answered with what is probably going to be a bottom lane of the Twitch and the Amumu. I'm not sure if Gandorfs can pilot that in the jungle, and these teams are really off to the races with this, as Seraphine J4 is apparently the answer for Team Washed. Rap, what are you thinking of what you see so far?
I'm thinking that is probably an Amumu support. Amumu has become more popular for support since his Q changes last year, or was it the year before? But he's become more popular there. Malzahar coming out right here. They're looking for a lockdown comp. What I've seen for PTP is they're looking for picks to set up their fights, and they want to just quickly get that. They just want to find someone they can just quickly nuke and then start a fight with the Twitch and the Amumu. Use the Malzahar to quickly pick the first target and then just tear through that line. The Twitch, a good answer, I think, into the Sivir. Can kind of get through, like, you know, it's hard to really shield a Twitch E. You have to really predict it, so it's a lot less useful in that scenario. I think the Seraphine it's a good pick. I like Seraphine support. I play it a lot myself. But into Amumu, it can be a little difficult unless you're hiding behind the minion line. But we'll have to see. We get into the second phase of bans here. Renata getting banned right here. It looks like they believe that is indeed Pure Llama on the civil, on the not on the civil, like on the Seraphine. And Lulu Banku. It looks like neither of these teams believe that their second picks are really supports.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. You know, I was about to muse maybe the Malzahar was a thought that they had sniffed out that Pure Llama was in fact going to be taking the Seraphine, and that Build a Pony would be picking up something else. And it looks like the bans belie that there is certainly a bit of a flex here game being played, with both sides banning out what are likely to be three supports, and then the Gnar picked out against the top laners. And so I guess this will reveal hopefully a lot here as we see what is probably going to be a top side pick if they want to, or a jungle pick rather, and then they might want to hold this top side for the final round since the Gnar was just picked away from Tadeus. But it looks like it's going to be, yep, the confirmation that the support Yuumi is coming through.
Yeah, so that is a Amumu jungle. Yuumi support with the Twitch is actually, since Yuumi's come out, it's probably been one of the dirtier combos. You don't see it a lot in pro play, because you don't usually have the Twitch in the front line, but you know, Twitch roaming goes invisible, has the Yuumi. Yuumi's invisible while on him. So you're just walking around, minding your own business in the jungle, and bam, rat with a cat just attacks you and you're just dead. So good play. I think it's good for the roam. It's also good with a follow-up with a Amumu because you have the ultimate. The Janna, a great answer, I think, into this. Able to really dissuade any engage as long as she's not the one being picked. And who's this going to be locked in? This is a pretty beefy team fight comp. But that does confirm the Seraphine is going mid. It's Midaphine and Mordekaiser locked in for Team Washed.
There it is. So we do have the gauntlet being thrown down by IMPJ Salt, saying it's time to fight against the realm of death itself. So we do see a fairly heavy magic composition from Pentakill Teemo, please. And a Mordekaiser is always going to be happy to build a Spirit Visage. Synergizes so well. And then the answer, of course, for the top side looks like is going to be the Aatrox for Tadeus. So looks like it's going to be a bit of a scrap up on the top side between these two big beefy bruisers. But for the bottom side, we do see the pivot from the Faith supports. Team Washed does bring in a second Enchanter. But Pentakill Timo Please goes from the faking the engage support on the bot side with the Mummy, puts that into the jungle, and is going to add their own enchanter for the hyper carry for the Twitch. So we'll be looking to see how the hyper carry shakes out on the side of Pentakill Timo Please, because Team Washed is going to be able to, of course, scale up with the 500 CS Sivir win condition. A lot more easy, a lot more honest to stack up compared to the hyper carry on the Twitch. So looks like we're hopping in the game, folks, and we'll have to see how these two teams, both matched up at 2 and 3 in the standings, are going to shake out as we get onto the Rift.
Yeah, and PTP, they've come into this season with basically a new roster. Pro HD's been there the whole time. Vanel's been there. But Tadeus, Gandorf, Sandara, these are new players for this org, and they're still finding their footing, but this to a 2-3 start isn't the worst. And the closing out this week at 3-3 with a win here could be pretty big for them, I think. I think it can give them some good motivation heading forward into the season as they find more and more, experience together with each other. I'm not sure how I feel about the Aatrox pick. I guess it can be good into Mordekaiser. I think both these champions, though, are top laners that, if they get ahead, are going to become very difficult to deal with. So I'm interested to see where they go. There's a lot more healing and shielding on the side of Wash here. You've got the heal and shield from Seraphine, from Janna. You've got technically a heal and spell shield on Sivir all in one package. You got shields on PJ Salt. You got a shield on the smaller and not as great, but still a shield nonetheless for the Jarvan. A lot of shields, a lot of ways to kind of lower the damage output coming from the side of PTP. And, this team, a lot of their engage, it's on the Amumu, it's on the Malzahar, maybe with the Yuumi, coming through bottom onto Vanel. But, it's if they don't manage to get through those shields and break down those targets with that initial engage, it's going to be hard to really find a re-engage onto the side of Wash. They've got to be selective with their targets. Maybe go for the Janna, maybe go for the Seraphine to start out and just rip them out so that they're no longer a threat to stopping you from following up.
And we see Mummy is, in fact, committing to the full clear on the bottom side, as we're seeing a little bit of this and that here on the bot side. But Civillock took the red and then immediately moved into his blue and is now clearing out his Gromp. So going to be committed to getting the early level 3 and ending on the top side. And it's going to be interesting to see. It looks like he's going to be trying to commit to this gank possibly before the scuttle comes up.
Yeah, he is coming on up. Tadeus, got to be careful. Slowly, passively farming. Bing the wave, just kind of push towards him. I think it looks like he might have sniffed something out. Something is up here. Or just playing passive. He's playing back quite a bit. Civillock going forward, looking to get onto this Aatrox. They're trying to force the issue here. Goes forward under the turret. He's going to get knocked up and take a second tower shot and force a flash. Little over aggressive, I think, from the side of Wash. It's not something you would expect coming out of them, but they are playing already a little bit scared, it looks like.
Yeah, the instinct that was there to commit to the route that was put Civillock into place, but of course the wave just wasn't in their favor. Wasn't going to be able to get in a good spot for the J4 to be able to commit to getting that flag and drag, and should have just peeled back, committed to getting the scuttle crab, which of course he does, but could have got a little bit better tempo there, as the Mummy has an extra camp ahead. Going to be getting the scuttle on the bot side, as we see the wave being pushed in by the side of Team Washed on the bot side.
Yeah, and Erebus has been doing a lot of pushing, a lot of just clearing the wave and shoving it under the turret up for CS. But I've forgotten, since the mid-scope rework, Sivir does not get mana anymore from the E, just health. So has to be careful here. Can't just burn it all. Won't be able to clear the wave. On the top side, PJ Salt to Deus, just kind of juking it out. A lot of pressure coming out of this Mordekaiser. Doing a lot of work. That forced gank, didn't get anything out of it. Did let him pressure forward. It did burn Civillock's flash. But his pressure on the map right now. PJ Salt doesn't, unfortunately, have teleport, though. Really make much work of anywhere else on the map. Now, Vanel Oh, getting caught up by a tornado, fighting with Bill the Pony. Erebus getting some good poke in. The Twitch is invisible. They don't know where it's at. Now they do with the cat. And they're just going to back off. It's just, just some nice harassment in between the lanes. So a fight in the top side could be breaking out. Tadeus looking to get some damage onto PJ Sol. They're just trading back and forth up there.
Yep, it's still in the noodle fight stage. I don't think either one of them can do much of anything until at least 6 is hit here, unless one of them does something pretty egregious. Even still, I think that even at 6, it would just be a full commit. And then the one thing that's interesting here is that if PJ Salt does commit to this, he will be bringing the Ignite, which is something I don't think we've mentioned yet. The Ignite could turn the tables, as the Aatrox is going to love to index into that healing.
Oh, that Yumi.
And
Sandara.
yeah, well, it'll remain to be seen if it's going to be the Eclipse Aatrox or whether it's going to be the Gore Drinker. There's been a bit of both internationally, so it's interesting to see which school of thought we're going to see today is subscribed to, or if it's going to be something else. I couldn't say I would agree with doing anything else other than those, but as we see, Civillock, here he is.
Yeah, Civillock coming in for another gank, looking to get the flag and drag, but gets flashed over. They managed to at least get something out of it, but Tadeus lives another day. Today is not the day that you kill Tadeus.
Yeah, Tadeus loses the ultimate there. On the escape, going to be able to teleport back, but now...
Gandorf manages to find the Janna, but this is going to back out, realizing not really a target you can follow up on with the tornadoes, though he does have the 2 grabs.
Yeah, Mordekaiser now coming back to the lane. Wave pushed into him, is going to have that leeching leer, going to have both summoners up on him, going to be able to have to walk back into lane, going to lose a little bit of CS there probably, but has the flash and the ignite, and now has the death realm, so we can make the Aatrox be forced into this fight, as long as he's able to turn the tables on this Aatrox here in the 1v1. Could be his time here with the summoners.
Yeah, and with that Ignite, can really reduce the healing, especially coming out of the Vampiric Scepter. Already looking for something, but just going to get a little bit of poke out. While on the bottom side, Sandara is kind of just poking it out with the cat, throwing some meow bombs at him. So they move around. Tadeus getting a little pulled out, getting locked up, getting ulted too. Flash forward from PJ Salt, looking for something, gonna get it. First blood onto PJ Salt on against Tadeus, but Bill the Pony is going to trade it there as Let's Do Vanal manages to grab a kill.
Yep, the top side, as we talked about, was the summoner spell gap, but down on the bot side, just something a little bit more straightforward. You see the Mumu be able to commit to the bot side. You have the power that is the Twitch empowered Yuumi, as we see the J4 on the counter gank.
Yeah, J4 looking to gank on to the cat. The cat running away, gets flashed onto, and is gonna go down. Meanwhile, though, the rest of PTP is on this dragon. They're trying to decide if they want to break off of it. Oh, wait. He did not pick... No, he did pick up the cat. The pixels look a little odd. It is the Malzahar. Anyways, stops the dragon, though. PTP backing off from there. Wash has managed to claim control of the river and secure themselves their first kill, well, I guess technically second of the game.
Yeah, and it looks like as things are standing, with the exception of that little bit of bloodshed there, it stands to reason that we will probably still see a little bit of a lull state until this game accelerates. Of course, we are seeing a bit of that honest top lane scrapping, as I talked about last game, but right now I really think that both teams want to appreciably hit some first item power spikes on both sides before they really try and get engaged in something else, especially the likes of the Twitch. Definitely wants to be able to have something in hand, but a lot of these champions scale pretty decently with their items, especially with their experience into the mid game. So I hope that these teams don't try and find big fights. Just play as they were, fly casual as it were, and it'd be interesting to see how these teams are able to transition this as we get to just about 10 minutes into our last 4 minutes with plates up. What the play is going to be around this Herald here, and commitments here on the Drake here is the Hextech Drake, just chilling.
Yep, just chilling along, having a good time, just waiting for the next objective. Their dragon is still up. No one has gone back to recontest it, but they are taking this scuttle, the side of PTP around it. You know, keep vision around it, make sure no one's just trying to sneak it. Jarvan can be a little sneaky sometimes. I don't think he's gonna really have much with the Caulfield's Warhammer and the I forget the name of that sword.
The Executioner's Calling.
Thank you. The Executioner's Calling. Thank you so much. As someone who plays support, I never end up building that item. But it is up there, trying to reduce the healing from the Yuumi and the Aatrox. Both can be a big threat. With the Vampiric Scepter, still not sure what they're picking. I'm going to guess it's going to be the Eclipse, but Amumu coming down. Sivir ult is forced to burn from Erebus. They do manage to grab on, but the Tornado stops the engage. A little bit poke back. Wash gets out with just a single ultimate burned.
Yep, and so one thing that the outcome of this trade here is that the J4 is going to get the gold and the power of the Eye of the Herald here. Comes around, is going to try and get this gank, but on the other side they weren't able to get the dragon, and they are in the area now as it looks like.
Dwarf catches out Civillock, the ultimate coming from the Malzahar. They managed to give the kill over to Vanel, and just an easy pickup for PTP. Civillock thought he was safe in the clear, fortunately unable to get it, and now that's the call. Go for the dragon, round 2.
You know, I was just about to talk about how if they wanted to sort of contest this river vision, as it looks like Wash is going to just leave it alone. But the funny thing is, I was going to say, is that Civillock does have access to the quick back if he needs to go back real quick before this fight. You got the quickest back, as they say. So, you know, I'm glad I didn't necessarily cast or curse him in that regard. But unfortunately, with him off the map, it's going to be an easy dragon pickup for PTP. So as it is, though, both teams even in gold, there is the dragon in the favor of PTP, the Herald in the favor of Washed, and when Civillock comes back on the map, he's still got plenty of time to decide what they want to do with this Herald, and there is still a bit of time before these plates come down, so they can get that early cash infusion wherever they decide, as we do see that the first mythic is going to come through for the Sivir. Gonna have that Kraken Slayer.
Yeah, and the Kraken Slayer, such a good item, especially with the tankiness that Amumu is eventually going to get to, and just how difficult it's going to be to break through the Aatrox. The true damage will absolutely help get through that front line from the side of PTP. Maybe you make the difference in a fight with the Twitch. Just coming back, going invisible. They only see the Amumu. They don't know anyone else that they might know after that hit. Civillock dropping the Herald up in the top side. Tadeus looking to maybe pick up a kill. Oh, Civillock getting so low, but is going to manage to get this charge off, get a couple plates, get a little bit of gold back in the pockets of PJ Salt and self. But that was dangerous. That was really risky of a play.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, you know, you just have to say #worth. It was you get the gold from the plates. An unfortunate trade over by the likes of Civillock, but you know, what are you gonna do at the end of the day? It's not super costly. The gold lead is still in your favor. You just gotta shrug it off and just be like, yeah. That didn't happen. Let's not mention it.
Speaking of pretending something didn't happen, we're gonna pretend that that Vanel isn't there. They're just gonna walk away, but it's not gonna be enough. Build the pony trying to run, gonna get sniped down by Vanel. Meanwhile, Civillock is here. The flash over the wall from Vanel. The ult coming in from Civillock. They're trying to save the rat, but it's gonna be the rat and the cat going down. A double kill over to Erebus as the surprise attack by PTP is reverse Uno'd.
Exactly. See, you just tell your team like, "Oh, sorry, I ended." Meanwhile, you're just like, "Hey, can you guys carry me, please?" Botline says, "Absolutely, I got you, my friend." And we see the pickup for Erebus, and then Civillock, of course, gets the redemption pick up to help his friends on the bot side. He has the Kempug chainsword in hand now with the likes of the Bomby Cinder. So has real items that do real things now in his inventory.
Yeah, and we looking at something we talked about earlier was what the Aatrox was going to build. It looks like he did go Eclipse. That's going to be the mythic of the game. It's all about the big damage numbers, the big numbers coming through on those Q3s. And, Civillock, sorry, not Civillock, Erebus and Vanel, they're basically dead even right now. The difference is just a crit cloak, and, it took a dagger to get that. Yeah, there's a 20 gold difference between them. But the Vanel going instead for keep the dagger, keep that bonus AD. They're looking for a play right here. They do not spot him out. Might have been spotted on that blue ward. Go invisible. No, they're going to spot him. They know he's there. No play to be had for the side of PTP. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, one thing to think about as you had noted with the Eclipse is that going back to something I mentioned earlier, the rest of the team is all magic damage on your side, right? So you want to disincentivize. That's a big disincentive for the team to try and build armor. Of course, it looks like the Mordekaiser has opted into these plated steel caps, but the Eclipse has a lot of value when you know that it's not really super smart for people to be building a bunch of armor. So getting that much more armor penetration as this Aatrox scales, especially into how squishy these champions can be, especially if you're able to get this Aatrox.
Civillock getting caught out right here. Yuumi ult comes through too. They manage to hit the Seraphine ult on 2-3. Are they going to be able to find a kill? There's a run back from the Yuumi. Yuumi trying to get away. Is going to go down there in the fight. On the side, Twitch going down. The Mordekaiser is here, followed by the Amumu. 3-0 right now. Erebus goes on a killing spree. Now they're looking for this Malzahar here, but the teleport... Not even the teleport, just walked all the way down there from the Mordekaiser, manages to save the fight.
Yeah, it was blink and you miss it moment. It seemed like things were... Oh, Malzahar goes in.
Malzahar going in, just hits an ult and just casually walks away. ProDH picking up a kill for himself. Fantastic from them. And for that, they're going to get a dragon unless, as an exchange for that one kill. Infernal going over to the side of Wash. It is going to be Mountain Soul this game. ProDH was looking, but couldn't find anything right there.
Unlike Cadril, the ProDH did not cancel it. Gets the kill across onto the Seraphine in the hands of Pure Llama, but it is mostly turning up aces here as we get into the mid-game proper for the likes of Wash. They take Shadow Realm.
Yeah, PJ Salt taking Tadeus to the Shadow Realm, but here comes the Amumu. Looking for something. Tadeus really wants to go back in, but has to be careful. Cannot take a Q to the face. Was probably going to die. Meanwhile, though, Vanel and Sundara on the bottom side. Civillock looking for something. But I don't think he's going to find it. As everyone kind of backs off, slows the pace down. Everyone's just kind of going back to farming, though. For the case of Wash, it looks like they're just going to farm a turret as they take out the first turret of the game.
Yeah,
and second.
It's tough. It's TP.
Yeah,
double TP.
Double TP coming in. ProDH manages to lock down, build a pony. Build a pony is going to go down. Sundara going to pick up the kill. Now, I don't think that's who they wanted to give that to. But a kill is a kill, and they managed to take it. They also get the teleport out of Pure Llama as well. So, one teleport for one teleport. A kill in hand. And now, actually, that was two teleports, sorry, because Tadeus also came down there. Now they're pushing. Tadeus going back to the top side. Gandorf's all on his own. Tadeus is here, but there are three as they go on in. Civillock manages to grab onto him. Gandorf going back in, looking for the ult, manages to hit nobody with it and goes down. Erebus going on a rampage. The rest of PTP is here. They're going to pick it up, shut down from Vanel onto PJ Salt. A 1-for-1 trade. 80 carries taken out top. Well, one a jungle. One side is a jungle going down. PTP going to start up this Baron, knowing that Civillock is lower. Sorry, Herald right now. Couldn't see the timer, but Washed is coming up, looking to try to contest this. PTP has to be careful. Health bars are low. Yuumi can't heal everybody. Seraphine comes in, hits three, manages to get the wombo combo, double kill going over to Erebus, and it's just a slaughter Not going to pick up the triple. Bill going to take that, but 4 kills for nothing in favor of Washed.
We have to see this so brutal, Ryan. They're just so grouped up, and they get murdered live on air. They just were clumped up in front of the Herald, and Seraphine Buffet there for the encore coming across. Not much that could be done for PTP there. They're already playing on borrowed time there, just trying to get that Twitch through to the mid game, and unfortunately, Sivir is already online, and when you conga line like that into a small area in front of a Seraphine with the likes of a J4, with the likes of the knock-up and the slow coming out from Bill the Pony, it's brutality.
PTP is just big Seraphine fans. Got to line up for the concert, get the tickets, get the feel the show, and feel the pain of the next morning after they get taken out right there. Now 12-6 in favor of Washed. Massive goal. Looking at about 5,000 gold, almost 6,000 in the lead for the side.
Get those golds, Ryan, please.
Yeah, look at see where this gold's distributed. Most of it seems to be, just across the board. It's very evenly spread out. Yeah, it's pretty evenly spread out. It's kind of close in the mid lane, but the rest of it, it's 1,000 gold top lane lead. 1,200 in jungle, 2,000, about 1,500 in bottom, getting close to 2,000. There's leads just all over the place. It feels like Wash is winning just across the board right now. This team is playing just fantastic. And now EJ Salt looking for Pro DH, manages to burn it, gets him into the Shadow Realm, is going to kind of clobber him. Malzahar ult coming through, hoping he can buy some time, but maybe not when you're standing on top of the circle. PJ Salt wins the Shadow Duel and banishes Pro DH back into the rest of the Shadow Realm.
PJ Salt with a big, I don't even know who you are vibes there. Although that scene does not turn out in Thanos' favor. He's just like, what is this guy doing here? Like, why are you fighting me? Like, just slaps him down as
Gandorf
we see the commitment.
Committing on to PJ Salt. There are 2 others with him, but they're going to have to run away. Gandorf's on his own. The Yuumi ult comes through. It's not going to hit anybody. They're just going to back away. Deus is here now. They're just going to let this dragon come up. They're going to try to pick it up as it gets ready to drop in just a couple seconds. Bottom side looking for Gandorfs. They're going in. Civillock looking for something. He's going to ult in. They're really aggressive going for Gandorfs right here, but he's going to go down. Nothing they can really do. Llama picks up the kill, and that's the call. Go for the Mountain Dragon.
Yep, they're going to get this Mountain Dragon. Of course, we are going to see PTP use their Herald mid and trade. It looks like they're going to get this tower down before their Herald has a chance to waste HP on the charge, so that's going to be pretty nice. But in the end, it's just going to be a little bit of a tempo trade there. They're going to get some gold in the hands. Well, actually, they're not, because it's not going to kill tower. But they did get the first tower down, get some gold there. Herald gets a big charge in the middle turret. And now it's just looking for PTP, really looking for an opportunity for where Washed might slip a little bit and give them an opportunity for this Twitch with the Yuumi stapled to it.
Deus has found Llama. The Seraphine ult comes through, only hits 1 this time, but Deus gets pulled over the wall. The rest of Washed is here, and there's only 4 people here on the side of PTP. The Amumu hasn't arrived yet. It's kind of getting separated out. Getting surrounded. Banal, what are you doing? Walks right into the river. Gets picked right off by Erebus, and now the Yuumi on the run gets the ult to slow them down. Civillock going forward, gets the ult, flash forward, gets the flash out of Pro DH, and Banal get just walking right into the river blind.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not great. It turns out that's not really great, and we're gonna have to see how PTP is gonna try and contest them on this Baron here. Is they're gonna turn off of it?
Are indeed. Gandorfs goes in, manages to hit a 4-man ult, but there's really no DPS to follow up on it. Now's Heart ult coming through. They manage to pick up PJ Salt, but it's gonna cost them everything. Erebus picks up 1. Erebus picks up 2. Pure Llama picks up 2 as well. That's an ace for the side of Washed, and that's also gonna be the Baron.
It felt like this was just fated to happen after things had turned out moments ago. They try and commit to the fight, they do peel off, and Team Watch is more than happy to take this fight. They have the big AoE ultimates to cause problems there against the likes of PTP as they just funnel into them. And that's going to turn out to be just a Baron picked up easily. The damage comes through. Sivir has the bouncies. You do have the the Seraphine ultimate coming across, and there's just so much disruption coming out with the likes of you're worrying about PJ Salt yanking you through. You have the disruption from Jarvan, and then you know it's just really annoying when you have those shields coming through from the likes of Bill the Pony. But it's so easy for Jonas now with the new changed Glacial Augment with their first very quick use of the Q Tornado. You can just get those very easy slow fields out, and those right away change the fight, because when you have a Seraphine on your team, you're just making it so that it's much easier for the Seraphine to be able to get those empowered stuns and roots by the likes of her E. So I think it's just a really rough time for PTP now, as the composition has really started to turn on for Washed, and it's hard to see how they're gonna lose control of this game.
Yeah, they're just so far in the lead right now. Up about 8,000, almost not actually exactly 8,000 gold right now in the driver's seat, in control of this game. Next dragon up in about 2 minutes. It's gonna be the point for Washed. Can PTP contest them there? Like you said, the Janna really great in this composition, especially with the Seraphine, buying so much space, and it's just so hard for PTP. They've got to find a flank. They've got to find somewhere they can push us from. Baron push coming through from Wash. They really want this mid inner turret. They're being careful. They're not overcommitting to it. It is hard to kind of deal with a Twitch and a Malzahar. They do have some good clear, but they are getting through. Sivir's clear, also fantastic. Seraphine's got some decent clear with her QE combo. They're looking, they're hunting. PTP looking to try to maybe make a stand for this turret. Looking to see how long they can hold out for. How long can they wait for this Twitch to come online? He does have 2 items. It is a whole item down on Erebus. The mid inner turret is gonna fall. Wash continuing the siege forward. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, PJ Salt and Tadeus just kind of going at it. Not much really happening. Wash, though, moving up to the top side, looking to take another inner turret to slowly choke PTP off the map, prevent them from feeling safe walking outside of their own walls. And now they engage from the Civilot, going in right on to the Amumu, but he is gonna go down. Now the Twitch trying to do something. Vayne looking to maybe get some damage out, is gonna fall. They do manage to pick up Civilot, but here comes Tadeus. Turret now down. There is an escape route out. Tadeus gonna get slowed down, gonna get locked up. They're gonna have to run away. 2 for 1 in favor of Washed. The siege continues. Mordekaiser on the bottom side, managing to get another turret. All the outer turrets are gone. They're pushing in on the inner. Tadeus taking a lot of damage with there. PJ Salt just slowly pressing on the turret. No one there to really challenge him. They're just gonna get this for free. I don't think he's gonna get there in time. Tadeus on the way down, but oh, last hit. There we go. Turret down. The base finally cracked for the side of Washed, and now they're heading right for the Mountain Drake. Put themselves on Soul Point.
Yeah. So as we see, Washed is taking it pretty measured, pretty methodical. Of course, they do trade junglers there, but they do come out ahead on the trade because they are able to find Let's Do Vanal in the fight. So you're going to make that trade every time. And Washed, again, played honestly with their Baron. They use the waves to push in. They are able to peel off and get back as they get this dragon. It does put them on Soul Point here for the Mountain Soul. But it's hard to believe that we're still going to be around to see it, as they should be able to get these waves going, and we'll have the fight most likely, or at least a push, with this Baron coming up in about 2 minutes time. So I imagine we're going to see this game go down before this Soul makes its way onto the Rift. But PTP, hopefully they can try and make a miracle happen here if they want to, in the end, get this win, because it is the last possible stand for them.
And if that miracle comes, it's going to be a miracle on Vanal Street, because Vanal is the key for this team right now. 5-5-1, has a lot of the gold in him. It's this massive Twitch. They need to keep him alive. They need to keep him up in this fight, just putting out DPS. That means he has to be very careful. We saw
Hurricane.
Oh, the Hurricane is done. Even more DPS potential coming out of this Twitch. If he's allowed to just get free shots off in the back, could probably tear through the entirety of Wash's front line. It isn't very tanky. It's a lot of AP on this Mordekaiser. Sure, has got the plate caps, but it's not very much armor. Even the damage reduction from basics is going to be neutered by the Kraken Slayer. And the Jarvan, only tank item, Sunfire Cape. And I guess technically Titanic, but it's just providing health, and that means nothing in the face of Twitch. So, if they can keep him alive here, they do have the potential. They could turn this fight, but 12,000 gold down. Is it too little, too late for the side of PTP? Can they find that fight? Can they stop this Baron that is about to happen in 30 seconds from the side of Wash, who is now going around, clearing out the vision on that side, that side of the river, trying to make it as dark as possible for PTP. Don't want them stepping up here. Too tricky. PJ Salt maybe looking for something. Wash just kind of standing around. I don't know about that one. I would recommend putting pressure somewhere on the map, because that's what PTP is doing. And now mid pressure gone. PTP has it, but the inside track still belongs to Wash. PTP a little scared to check though. And that's the call from Wash. They see them backing up. It's time to start the Baron. PTP looking to maybe walk over here. They're taking Raptors right now. They haven't started contesting. Halfway through the Baron health already, though. PTP, you've got to get over here. And they're not going to get there in time, unfortunately. Wash is going to pick up the Baron uncontested. PTP knows they're down. Doesn't want to risk the fight there.
Yep, so looks like they opt to avoid the fight, knowing that, of course, they're going to have to defend their base. They still have inhibitors to defend on the side of PTP, but you know, this seems to be the final push. They have a lot of power behind them. There's 4 items now fully completed on the server, so absolute nightmare mode coming out from the side of Erebus now, and they are going to have these cannon minions to help siege them down this mid turret and get access here to this mid inhibitor. And then also, because they were able to get the PJ Salt was able to get down that bottom inhibitor tower, they can just transition right over with this wave that's pushing in right now. So that's going to be a 2 inhibitor play immediately after they walk in with this Baron. And I imagine that if they just play cool, they may opt to just pull back here and play smart, get this Dragon Soul here in a moment, and walk it in a little bit more casually. But yeah, it seems like Team Washed here, full control. They are going to opt to take this moment for the tempo with their 2 inhibitors down. Spend some gold and clean up here with this Dragon Soul, and it looks like PTP last possible moment is going to be on this base defense when Wash shows up with this Mountain Soul.
Yeah, and PTP is trying to push out, everyone backing to grab maybe their last item, seeing what Tadeus gets here, waiting on something. He's going to pick up some armor pen. Not sure if that's really necessary. Not a lot of armor on the side of Washed, but a little bit helps. They are the first out to this dragon. They need to stop it here. 10 seconds till it's up. This soul, massive. Those shields even worse. Now Civillock looking for Gandorfs. Possibly. Nope. Gonna go in on the side looking for Pro DH. And now the fight breaks out. And it's chaos everywhere. Civillock manages to separate Vanal from the back line. But down goes the entire front of PTP. They're scrambling. Twitch goes down. Sundara trying to fight, but can't 1v1 the Sivir. And now it's just Pro DH against 5. On the run, trying to escape. Use the blast cone to run away. Civillock trying to hunt him down. Goes in, slows him down. Kill gonna be picked up by Erebus. And that is gonna be the game. Washed improves to an even 3-3 as they dominantly take down PTP.
And yeah, it was of course a masterclass coming out from Team Washed. This was a matchup between 2 match teams in the standings between them and PTP at 2-3. This is going to advance Team Washed to that 3-3, but absolutely stunning performances coming out from the likes of Team Washed here. The Sivir and the Yumi were in absolute nightmare mode. Erebus popping off with 24 out of 26 there with the kill participation. Civillock, of course, went 24 out of 26 as well, going 1 in 23 on the assists. And of course, the Janna, Bill the Pony, got to tip my hat to the support there. 21, the honorable mention, but damn, this team was all over the map. They were aggressive and they were pushing their advantages, and PTP just couldn't find their way back in after a certain point. They did their best. They were trying to keep up with the CS. They were trying to get in there with the fights, looking for their opportunity, looking for the moment for Team Wash to make a mistake where they could capitalize. But things never turned up for them, and so Team Wash was able to just keep pushing their way and build the snowball and end up with a victory.
Yeah, and I have to check with stats or someone who has a better stat history knowledge of this than I, but that might be the highest KDA we've seen in FOF. 24 KDA. Insane. I mean, I'm sure there's someone might have been higher, but that is usually, you don't see those kind of numbers. Insane output. 20 KDA on Pure Llama, 12 on Civillock. The lowest is a 3.5 on PJ Salt. Absolutely impressive numbers. And that's going to do it from us here on the casting desk, but don't go anywhere. We've got an interview coming up with Bill the Pony right after this. Yeah.
Everyone, and welcome back. We're still here at day 2, week 3 of the Heroic League after another fantastic game. Team Wash versus PTP. I totally forgot the teams for a second. But anyway, it was a fantastic game. Another back and forth. A lot of, teams were even in the standings, both coming into this 3-2, but only one of them was able to come out 3-3, which was Team Wash. And I'm joined today by their support, Bill the Pony, who played a fantastic Jana last game. Bill, how are you feeling after your victory?
Feel pretty good. My main goal was to land those tornadoes on the Amumu, and I didn't get every single one. I want to get better doing that consistently, but I think I did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think part of the play for them was the bandage toss. They knew it would get absorbed, but followed up. But those tornadoes were really good at keeping the Amumu at bay. So, tip of the hat to you on those. Kind of flipping that a little bit into the first question coming at you. Is this a draft that you guys have particularly prepared for them with the Jana and the way it was going to play out, or did you guys kind of have to stumble your way through draft on this one?
Yeah, we had to adjust a little bit on the fly. We don't expect to get Seraphine and Sivir. We don't expect to get them both, but people keep giving them to us. So we kind of plan to not have them, and then oftentimes it's like, oh, they gave it to us, so let's just pick those, I guess. So we usually throw our draft prep kind of out the window every time they give it to us. And then Jana is just purely against Amumu. It's just really good against her. Additional healing it fits in well with our comp as long as we have enough engage elsewhere in the team, which we really do with Jarvan ultimately. We do kind of need to get to objectives earlier, and we did a good job about that. So, yeah, I mean, they keep letting us have these champs, so we're going to keep playing them.
That is true, and like a little bit of an inside joke earlier today, I was talking to Pure Llama, and he was asking me something totally off topic. He was like, if I play 5 games of like Seraphine and 5 games of Ziggs, which champion gets banned? And I said Swain, which held up to be true. So he's never gonna get that champion, I think, as long as he plays in this league. But kind of also looking at how your team dynamic was different today. You had Civillock stepping off the coach bench, stepping into play for you guys, coming into the jungle and having that dynamic. And I was just kind of curious, how does that change your guys' dynamic as a team, and how did it feel having your coach play alongside you?
It was really good. Ultimately, between Kyle or Godx Anime and Civillock, they both have different strengths. Godx Anime is obviously a lot more experienced with jungling than Civillock is, but Civillock is a lot more experienced at shot calling the fights. So it was a little bit, for a team that has struggled a lot to be decisive, it was a little bit of a breath of fresh air to have Civillock kind of coming in and calling shots in the midst of the fights, and allowing us to a degree to turn our brains off and just press our buttons. So that was super, super helpful. So I think, it's one of those things, again, where Godx Anime has a lot of strengths and is really good at what he does, so they kind of compensate for each other a little bit, but I think that they could both essentially learn from each other because their strengths are in different areas.
Yeah, I like that very much. I like how you guys were able to play to those different strengths and identify them and not kind of be caught off guard. One of the themes today I've seen so far is these between these two games is you're very close, and then the saying, it's very close until it's not all of a sudden. So when you guys,
I was gonna say, does it feel close? I didn't think it felt close.
The start, the first 10 minutes was kind of there, and then it kind of ballooned in this 12 to 15k lead later on. But what I'm looking at, like how that shapes up, is it just like how do you guys as a team, if you start to feel a slip up, communicate that out and not allow that to affect your next play and claw your way back into a game if it comes to it?
Yeah, I think we just try and stay positive. Ultimately, we always, if they're making a play on our bot lane, even if I end up dying because of it, we're looking at what can we get somewhere else on the map, right? A death is not the end of the world. A death oftentimes comes with cooldowns that they're using. At the point in time they did that double teleport play, to ultimately, Erebus did a good job of just getting out. They caught me. I didn't burn anything as part of them catching me. I didn't even flash. It's like, okay, great, you guys got a kill, but you expended a lot for this. And ultimately, we had Taylor or our top laner Mordekaiser pushing down their I think it was their tier 2 at that point in time for that play. So we give here or there, but we ultimately do everything we can to get what we can everywhere else. It's ultimately all about economics.
Fair enough. I like that. And with your score, the way it is now, we talked about how at the start of the season, Wash was predicted a fan favorite to be, the number one in the league, and now it seems like it was a rocky start, but you guys are really starting to come back into it. And I'm like, as far as from your perspective, how's it feeling? Are you guys feeling like you're just in a lot different place than you were 2 weeks ago, and it's just going to keep going up, or is it just that the matchups are swinging differently than you expected?
So initially we thought we were going to have a pretty easy week 1. Wet on paper didn't look like a super strong team, but they turned out to be very scrappy. And we thought we were facing SAE, but then that turned into RLS, and RLS threw a really solid roster at us. And so we were struggling out the gate for sure. We're some newer players on the team. We didn't have a lot of practice, so we just were not really on the same page. Brendan has a crazy schedule, doesn't get enough sleep. He coaches and helps us as much as he can. But we got Civillock to come in first as a sub, and then immediately we're like, well, you might as well coach too and help out. And he's been really instrumental in helping Brendan. I think similar to Civillock and Godex Anime, having different strengths, same way with Brendan and Clovis. So between the two of them, they're helping us out a lot. I'd say right now we're probably number 2 in the league. INT looks so good. I'm really looking forward to facing them. Hopefully, despite all the expertise that they have with their ARAM games and their unlocked spellbook or whatever it's called, I don't even play that game type, but they've played a lot of that, so I'm worried that that's gonna give them an unfair advantage against us. But maybe the fact that we put in some solo queue games will help balance for that.
For sure, and because it comes up in Green Room so much, I have to ask the question: who's your favorite coach, Civillock or Brendan?
That's not a nice question.
They did this to themselves. They know what they did.
Yeah, I plead the fifth. I'm not gonna answer.
Alright, fair enough, but fine. Let's go ahead and ask you the question that you'll have to answer next. Looking at Game 3, we're going to have Team Art of War versus Team Aha. That's the only way I said it because the name differentiated. But who do you think takes that match?
I already predicted this in the FOF Connect. I believe I have taking it. And by that, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what I mean, so I'm right either way. No, just kidding. The 4As. I'm taking 4A to take it. I think that they are a completely different team when they have Rare Atom. I haven't actually double-checked lock-ins, but I think they have Rare Atom back this week. And so if they do, I think that they will be able to exploit some of the struggles that AWE has, specifically in their top lane. Jaffe is a very good top laner, and I expect him to run Biggest Stick Us Down, even though they don't get counterpick this week. But I expect that to just snowball out of it, and especially if they give him like Fiora or a different hyper carry champion, and he runs into their base and starts 1v4ing like he did week 1. I'm excited to see it either way.
Perfect. Well, thank you for your time, Phil. I appreciate that. Like you heard him say, he's going to go ahead and predict that Quad A is going to take it. You can check out the rest of his predictions in the FOF Connect. You can check out a lot of awesome other content regarding Heroic and the upcoming Mythic League. You can go and use that for your time filler before we take a short break before coming back to Game 3. We'll see y'all very soon. Don't touch that browser.